This next quilt design is again using our 2.5, 4.5, also called potato chip or brick blocks. You can adjust the size to whatever vertical format you like, but this is what I'm choosing to use. So each block, there are a couple different blocks, but the main one is we're going to join a light with a dark. I'm trying to use a series of colors in the same color range. So then we'll join one on the bottom here and one on the top, and then two on the side like that, and that's how it'll look. So it will be a 8 by 6 inch trim size, so 8.5 by 6.5 once it's sewn together. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So again, piece here, join the top and the bottom, piece here, and then join that to the side, and then we will press to the dark, and then I'll show you what comes next. So this is what the block looks like, and you will need to make 16 of these in any color way you choose. Just try to keep a lighter common background in the center. So let me go ahead and do those, and then I'll show you how I'm going to pull another block into this. Next up is making a series of 9 patch blocks. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to use up some of my low volume or medium volume fabrics. And there's a couple different ways that you can go about doing this if you haven't done them before. One of them, if you really have a lot of scraps, is to cut 2.5 inch squares and then sew them together in string piecing, which is what part of mine will be done that way. This one was done with strings and then cutting them apart. So what I've got is I've got 3 pieces here that will get joined together with a 1/4 inch seam, and then once they're all joined and pressed to the dark side, I will subcut them into 2.5 inches in depth this way. And then along with another set, which are the lighter with the darker in the center, again, I'll piece them here, subcut it in 2.5 inches. And once you lay them together, if you take a look, you'll end up with your dark, your light, and your dark, which is your dark, your light set, and your dark. So I'm going to go ahead and make some of those, and then I'll be right back. So I'm just showing you how I have these now strip pieced together, and then these were a minimum of 5 inches, which will give us 2 strips. So what I do is I line the line on one of the parallel, and then I make sure I have 2.5 inches here and here, and then I will give that a quick slice. And that will be 1 here. So I'll continue to do that, and then I'll start assembling them, and I'll show you how we put this quilt together. So next up, we're going to make 6 of these blocks, and what these are 2.5 inch squares. I'm going to call these my background and then a darker accent. Choose whatever color works for you. These are all scraps that I was given, so that's what I'm using. If you'll notice, if I turn this fabric over, it's darker on the other side, so I am going to use the lighter facing up. So what we're going to do is we're going to piece these together. So these are 3 across, and once that's done, press to the dark side, and then these are pieces that are 3.5 inches deep by 6.5 inches wide, and we'll join them here and here. So when this is all done, this will be a square that'll, well, not a square, it's actually a rectangle, isn't it? It'll be a block that's 6.5 by 8.5. So let me go ahead and do that, and again, we need to make 6 of these. Now that there are 6 of these blocks, we'll move on to the next one, which is going to be 2.5 or 2.5 by 6.5, a dark, and then you're going to have a lighter on each side that measure the same. So sort of like a rail fence with the dark in the center, and you will make 6 of those. And then while you're at it, you'll also be making another 6 where it is 8.5 inches long. Again, with 2 lighter, your background, and a darker in the center. So I'll get that all together, and then we're almost ready for final assembly. Okay, these blocks are completed, and these are the ones that were the 2.5 strips by 6.5. And I had a wrong measurement in the last one, so I'll just show you here. These are all 6.5 inches in length, and you're going to take your background and your darker highlight color. So this is 2.5 by 6.5, 2.5, 6.5, and 4.5 by 6.5. So we will join them together, 1/4 inch seam, and we'll do 6 of these blocks. And these are the last blocks, and now we'll, after I get this done, we'll be able to start assembly. So this is the last block that I just put together, and it measures 8 by 6 when it's finished, or 8.5 by 6.5. So we need 6 of those. We also need to have some plain background, and we need 6 of these, and these are cut to 6.5 inches square. And again, I'm using the wrong side of some extra scraps I have. We also have these, which again are 6.5 by 8.5, and we need 6 of those. We need 6 of these, which measure 6.5 inches square put together. We made these checkerboard or the 9 patch, which we need 9 of those, and they measure 6.5 inches. And then what the block that started it all made out of potato chips, and we need 16 of those. So I will show you in sections what needs to go together, so just stick with me and we'll get this done. Okay, so now we're ready to assemble all the blocks that we have put together, and starting in the upper left-hand corner, we're going to take these 4 and put them together. And again, we're using a 1/4 inch seam to piece. So what I'll do is I'll join these together, these 2 together, and then I'll join these together. This is when you want to start paying attention to how you press your seams, because you will be nesting them to other blocks as you join along. So let me do this, and then I'll show you the next grouping. And these 4 blocks will get joined to the one we just did on the left hand side. So the one we just did is here, and again I'll be doing 1/4 inch seams, and then we have another 2 that go to the right of these. So I will do this and then carry on. This will be the upper right hand corner, and there are 6 blocks to be joined here. I will do it in the same sequence where I will do the vertical seams this way, and then I will join them together on the horizontal, all with a 1/4 inch seam. I'll take a picture after I join this, and then I'm just going to take a picture after each section as I join it, and then I'll show you how they all come together. Okay, so now I have all the blocks joined together, and I'm ready to put them into rows. I'm just showing you how each segment of the pictures I was taking go in a line. So I started in the upper left-hand corner where the blue is and worked across to the right. Then I did the next row down, the next, and finishing up with the 2 reds in either corner. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, give it a nice press, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Here we go, it's all done. Some of you have been asking for a vertical format, which this one is. I'll put the size in the show notes. I really like this with the secondary pattern, so give it a whirl. Please comment, like, share. Let me know what you think about this, if you have any ideas of other patterns you'd like to see. So as always, this has been awesome. Sew safely and sew with Debee. Bye for now.